off to the races. Nick Atkin from Bangkok Post, from the Nick Atkin YouTube channel with 71,000 subscribers now,
Oof,
23,000
going up.
followers on Instagram, and you got the Facebook page with like 121,000 followers. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT of One Championship reporting. Nick, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Roger. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the kind words. I really means a lot that anyone would want to speak to me and interview me. Normally, I'm the guy interviewing the fighters and everyone. So the fact you want to talk to me, I'm humbled, I'm honored, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, sir.
No, the honor's all mine. I remember when your channel had like 5,000 subscribers and then it just blew up or something, and you started doing the live streams and you got some good shorts on there, and you just create so much content around one for people. So was that kind of like always the plan to do like writing for the Bangkok Post and then have your own like community?
Oh, well, it's a long story. I don't know how much time you have for it, but well, I used to work at a newspaper in Hong Kong called the South China Morning Post, which is where I live. I still live in Hong Kong. And a couple years into my time here, I was pretty bored. I wasn't really doing much live sports. And I used to work at ESPN in London. So I was used to going to a lot of big high level sporting events. I worked with the American ESPN team as well, went to things like Wimbledon, US Open, all these. I went to some UFC as well, and came out to Hong Kong. There wasn't much going on, so when One Championship came along, it piqued my interest because I saw DJ and Eddie Alvarez from the UFC had jumped ship to One Championship. So I thought I'll go check it out. I convinced my boss at the time, Noel Prentice, to let me go to Tokyo. They were having a big first ever show in Japan, 2019 March this was, and then just blew up. The numbers were crazy for SCMP, and then that's where the whole thing began. I launched my own series of channels there. Like I had a SCMP YouTube for MMA. I had a Instagram, Facebook, yada yada. I built all those things up over the next 5 years. But then, yeah, around about the end of 2023, I was kind of at a crossroads in life. I wanted to go freelance and cover One Championship all the time, all day, every day. But SCMP didn't really want me to do that because they have a business to run, and I was employed, on their sports desk. So I was not solely meant to cover One Championship. I had other responsibilities as well, which they wanted me to do. I was an editor largely, but I just wanted to go out and be the reporter finally. After 10, 12 years in my career of being the editor, making everyone else's writing sound better than it is, I wanted to be the guy going out there at the events, all the time, having fun. So it was a very difficult thing. What happened? I always envisioned myself staying at SCMP forever and kind of building the One Championship stuff for them. But it became clear to me it wasn't going to be possible. So we parted ways. I went on my own. It was a little scary at first. Yeah, I was trying to get Bangkok Post off the ground. I believed it was going to happen quickly, but things kind of stalled for a while. So I was slightly in limbo, and then I was working with Sports Kita,
Yeah.
who I'm sure you know as well,
Yeah.
covering one for them. I was just still waiting on a contract thing for Bangkok Post. We were ironing out a lot of details. It took a long time, and then finally that came through around about August last year. So then that's when everything took off. I launched my own channels because I was no longer doing Sports Kita's channel either. So it was the first time I really was on my own, and because Bangkok Post, I don't do any social media for them. I do all my own social. I just write for their website. So they said basically, go do what you want with socials. We don't need you to build channels for us. I was like, okay, fine, I'll build my own. I didn't realize what would happen. They blew up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just went crazy. I remember going to Denver right after I started that job. I went to Superlek versus Haggerty in Denver, and then I interviewed Haggerty at his gym he was working out at. Went crazy. I interviewed Superlek after the fight, and everything just took off. And then a couple months later, you had Rug and Malakin, and Rotang was on the same card. That was in Bangkok, and yeah, Rug is incredibly popular. I'm not sure if you realize, but
Yeah.
he's got millions of fans, especially in Senegal, where he's from, all over Africa as well. And the numbers just went crazy on my Facebook, especially. I think I went up to 50,000 followers in the space of a month.
Wow.
And then, yeah, YouTube as well just went crazy. Instagram is a bit slower, but it's still healthy for me. Yeah, just I for me it was strange because it was like I was used to building these other companies up for the last 5 6 years, and now I was suddenly the name. I was building up myself, and I think I needed this to happen. A lot of people told me for years and years and years, why don't you go on your own? Why don't you go on your own? You can be the Ariel Hawani of one championship. I was like, I don't know, man. Like it's not that easy, but it isn't easy. But I feel like I'm starting to get there. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, and I'm I'm just blessed. I have the best job in the world. I think comfortably I can say that. I think a lot of people would love to do what I do. So I'm very, very blessed about that. Sorry, I've talked for a long time there, and I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, for sure. And um, I mean, I guess like Rug's facing Malakin again at one Tokyo. So hopefully the you just like exponentially grow again and you could probably double, right?
Oh, any rug fight, I'm there. The numbers are. It was they had a couple of altercations in the fight week, which what really did it. They had a we were lucky. I was in the hotel doing my interviews, and then Rug and Malakin were out in the hallway, and then I hear some noise. I see some stuff flying around. I'm like, I have a camera guy as well. I pay
Yeah.
to like help me, and I was like, get out there now, like film it. And he got it. He got it. They were like button heads, and then the next day they did the same thing at the press conference. You've probably seen that one. They had a face off, and then it took about 7 staff to try and pull them apart. Mitch Chilson is like somewhere underneath in the middle, like gets hit in the head with the belt. The numbers were crazy, and I think I got lucky. It was a right place, right time kind of thing. But I've never looked back, And then the Thai people have started to take to me as well. I see them at Lumpini outside, and they come up and talk to me, say they're fans of the channel, and they share my stuff. They follow. I know a lot of Thai media as well. They're really cool to me. They help introduce me to the Thai fans online. They share my things. I'm very lucky, yeah. And Myanmar, yeah, they've always loved one championship. With Ong Lan Sang, and now they have a few young Muay Thai fighters coming through. So I'm just right place, right time. Like I said, lightning struck, and I'm building my audience. I'm sure it's going to go crazy again. Tokyo, like you said, 173, Rug Malakin rematch, Noiri and Superborn. Those guys are incredibly popular too. Noiri has an insane following. When he knocked out Tawan Chai, the last Japan show, the numbers are incredible. You just got to put yourself there. That's the main thing. Yeah, make sure you're front row as close as you can be with the phone out or whatever, because you never know what moment is going to pop big and could be viral sensation. Like for instance, that Rug Malakin fight. The biggest thing actually from that week that maybe did the most for my Facebook and YouTube and things and Instagram was not actually Malakin and Rug. It was Rug and Rodtang.
Yeah, I
After
saw
the
that.
post-fight press conference, they did a face-off, like a staged fake.
Yeah.
Millions of views, and thousands of shares, thousands of followers gained from one thing. It's just a shame, Roger. I didn't have monetization on my Facebook until last week, because I think if I had the monetization on then, I would have been a millionaire. No, I would have made a nice bit of change. But I finally got my monetization on my Facebook, so I'm happy. I'm hoping to make a bit of cash now. That's always going to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully some more Rotang Rug interactions in Tokyo next time too.
Yeah. No, I remember that short and I shared it with my friends because like it's so clickable. It's this big African dude and this small Thai guy. That was great. But it's because you're always there. Like you're at every fight, every press conference, and you're just tracking the whole environment. So that's awesome. And then actually you mentioned like the Myanmar fighters. because I've done some stuff on my channel where I talk about like So Liu or Tan Zin. So have you you've interviewed them, right? I think I saw you do a few interviews with them. What are they like?
Yeah, I've interviewed Solinu, Tanzin. They are very shy. They're not very. They're quite soft spoken. Yeah, they don't speak English either. So there's a language barrier. You know, Myanmar fans are just absolutely crazy for anyone, especially successful fighters.
Yeah.
If you're winning, you're almost close to God in Myanmar. Like you must know Ong La and Sang, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
guy has a statue in Myanmar. Obviously, former two division MMA champion in one. He's just on another level. He's coming to the end of his career now, but
Yeah.
back when I started, what kind of took when I was covering it with SCMP, the thing that kicked that off for me was speaking to Ong La in Tokyo after he beat Brandon Vera for the light heavyweight MMA title. I think that was 1 century, yeah, the 100th show, the anniversary show, second round TKO. Just insane numbers. Like I uploaded that video one night off the night of the event, and then boom, boom, thousands and thousands of subscribers. Suddenly, I went from 100, which or 300, which took me 3 months to get, and something like that, and then suddenly I was 3,000 in a matter of hours. Ong La is insanely popular, and I one championship's done a very good job of tapping into that kind of rabid fan base they have. Myanmar's love Facebook, and
Okay.
then they love YouTube. They share everything.
Yeah.
One has a lot of good numbers on social, and a lot of it is to do with Myanmar. A lot of it is to do with Thailand. Those are two very, very big markets for them. It's just a shame they can't go back to Myanmar at the moment with everything going on there politically. There was a military coup a few years ago, which kind of, yeah, pulled the rug out from underneath Ong La a little bit, sadly. But before that, he was Cristiano Ronaldo level popular in terms of
Yeah.
in Myanmar. The numbers are insane. But Solinu, Tanzin, can they get to his level? They're already very popular too. Everything they do, and I cover, it goes crazy as well. I think the one though to watch is Veronica. She came in with a big rep. She's training out in Phuket with Tiger Muay Thai. She lost her first fight. It was a great fight with Miss Scarface, but she won her second fight recently against Junior Fairtex. And I think keep your eye on her. They might fast track her to a title shot. A lot of people were tipping her to just obliterate everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. She's like an absolute powerhouse. I think she could be a future champion there. We'll see if she does. One championship have a money printing machine on their hands. Basically, she's
Nice.
yeah, superstar in Myanmar. But she speaks English as well, so she's a little bit easier to interview than Tanzin and Solin.
That's awesome. Yeah. No. Because the UFC has that guy Joshua Van. Do you know him?
Never interviewed him, never watched him fight. I love him though when I see his fights. I watched the last one, it was great. I'm
Yeah.
very happy for him. And yeah, suddenly Myanmar fans are all waking up to UFC now, which one championship probably hate. Because for years one had the Myanmar fans on lockdown
Yeah.
with Ong La. Then they kind of lost Ong La because of Derrida took both of Ong La's belts. And now Derrida's in the UFC
And
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of sacrificed Ong La to Derrida and then he's gone. But I guess they sacrificed Derrida to Malakin. So it kind of came around. But I'm very happy for Ryan Derrida, by the way. I love him. Loved
Yeah.
interviewing him. Loved watching him fight. I'm so happy for his success in the UFC. But yeah, Joshua Van, I've never interacted with him at all. I used to cover UFC for South China Morning Post, but not for years now. I haven't really covered it actively. So I watch the pay-per-views if I can, usually like just the main cards. If I can
Yeah.
catch it, I will. I watched the one last weekend, the Holloway
Yeah.
Poirier.
I got it up
Yeah, it
here.
was a good one. Oh yeah. Yeah, what did you think? You like it?
Yeah. I thought it was. I always watch them at like a bar because it's like a $15 cover charge. Watch it with your
Easier.
buddies. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. That Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez fight. That was my favorite actually because they were just like, I don't know, so sloppy, but
Yeah, it was a textbook sloppy banger, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But those are the fun ones. And then of course like Max is I'm glad he won because like he's still staying in the sport. And so now he's champion. But back to one. Um I was gonna ask like or actually back to you. I think I read like your father was a sports journalist as well. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
can you talk about that? Like how did that influence you? I mean, obviously you're a sports journalist, but was it because of him or was it just because you also want to be a sports journalist?
Well, both of my parents were sports journalists, and they
Okay.
were
Yeah.
they were quite famous ones in the scene. Like in the UK, they were both quite big names. My dad was very well known sports writer and editor on Fleet Street, which is I don't know, it doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, Fleet Street used to be this literal street in London where all the newspapers were on this one street for some reason. None of them are there anymore, but they're all in different places. But it was a very famous culture, and they all knew each other. So yeah, my mum and dad they met there. My mum was a very famous writer in her own mind as well. She was the first female football writer ever in the UK. It was a very male dominated industry, entirely male industry at the time. And then my dad became a very famous tennis writer. He was the first sports journalist of the year or sports writer of the year in the UK to win for tennis, I think. So both of my parents won that award. Quite a lot to live up to, right? And yeah, they told me always like we hope you don't go into this industry. Please do something else. Like yeah, it's dying. It's a dying industry, and I was like yeah, but I don't really know what I want to do. And I love sport growing up. I still do. And, we all do, right? That's why we're here. And I was very passionate about reading about sport as well. I used to read the newspapers every day. It's kind of like a ritual for me. The first thing I do when I wake up every morning is I don't have newspapers anymore, but I'll still go on the internet and just read through all the sports news. This is the first thing I do every morning with a coffee. That'll never change to the day I die. So it's just in my heart. And I thought about doing other stuff. I tried to. I studied film for 5 years at university. I thought I wanted to do something in film, but as soon as I finished that, I was like, well, you know what? It's pretty tough to get a job in film. Why don't I try sports journalism, like officially? So I did a quick 6-month journalism course in London. And then the very next day I finished, I had a job for sports press agency in Wimbledon, where the tennis is. So it just happened. Boom! I was suddenly covering the Olympics because it was London 2012 that year. I was covering football, rugby, tennis, everything. Then the ESPN gig came up. That was that was kind of what really started me on the journey to where I am now. But in between, I got made redundant from the first job, so I was kind of spinning my wheels for 3 months, thinking, oh, maybe it's time to do something else in my life. Not sure I'm any good at this. And then ESPN. I applied for the ESPN job. Didn't think I'd get it. I got it, and I'll admit I wasn't very good. Yeah, but then something clicked after a year or two. I just suddenly, I got in my stride, and then but my parents, they were definitely influences, but like I said, they warned me not to do it. But I told them, don't worry, I'm not going into newspapers. I'm going into digital because at the
Yeah.
time digital was booming, right? And then I didn't even foresee the future of the industry would be on social media. And I mean, I'm still a writer at heart, and my bread and butter is writing articles, every day almost for Bangkok Post. That's what I'm paid to do. The rest of it is just me on my own time, more my social videos. No one pays me to do that. I mean, hopefully I now make some money on YouTube or on Facebook. I mean, YouTube, I barely get anything, but yeah, Facebook is a bit more kind for the monetization. But
Really?
yeah, that was all me, and I didn't see the industry going that way. But it's like a whole different job for me. And at first, I kind of stuck my nose up, and it's like I'm better than this. I don't, anyone can hold up a phone, and anyone can post a thing on Instagram. I'm a writer, I'm more sophisticated than that. But why can't I do both? So I feel like I have a knack for doing the social stuff as well. I know what works, what doesn't, but also I accepted that you can't do everything. There was a time I tried to do literally everything. And like you said, when you started this video, you said like I'm the guy, the one championship guy, or whatever, the goat. But to be honest, I don't even feel that way anymore because there's a dozen of these guys now. Maybe I've helped inspire a few people, which is great. But they all beat me to everything now. I'll be at the gym and then I open my phone and I'm, oh shit, I missed like all this news. There'll be like 10 posts like Rod Tang fighting Nongo or something like that. Yeah, but you just can't beat yourself up too much because you have to have a life. And some people, I'm never going to be able to beat the guys who are like online 24/7. And props to them for doing that. But I got to do other stuff now. I'm 38 nearly. I got a baby coming in a couple months, and
Oh,
I'm
congrats.
trying to get fit. Yeah, so, I just accepted. Yeah, I can't be all the time number one championship guy. I'm happy to see other people come in and play. I think at first I was a little bit protective of the space, but I'm glad other people are. I like you seeing you cover it is great. Seeing anyone cover one championship is great because I love to see one get some promotion from people who don't normally cover it, and I feel like they've been getting that the last few years. It's kind of ever since they started with Amazon, a lot more people in the West are taking notice. So a long answer again. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
All
So
good.
I'll throw it back to you.
No, all good. I guess I got to ask then for your baby, would yeah, boy or girl, do you know?
Yeah, it's a girl, and
So
she's kicking really hard today. So we're kind of joking with my missus, like she's gonna be a Muay Thai fighter.
yeah,
He was
throw
throwing some real combos, like
yeah.
punches and bunches today.
Love
Yeah.
it. So would you how would you feel if she went into like sports journalism, carried on that tradition?
I tell her like, just have a plan. I think that's the best advice I give anyone, and find a niche. Try and do something no one else is doing in a way. That's what I did, I think, and otherwise it's a very low paying industry. It's getting worse as well with AI. I think it's important to be the person creating the content, not the one editing, because editing is like completely dead now. I think because a machine can do it, but the machine can't go stand, you know, at the scene of the crime and stick a microphone in the policeman's face, or they can't. The machine can't sit and watch and report on, the fight from cage side. It's important, but to be honest, I don't think my missus will let our kid go into journalism because she's a lot more successful and wealthy than me, and she'll make sure our kid is doing something more worthwhile. No, I mean, if she really wants to do it, I'm sure we would be happy. But like my dad said to me, I would say to her, like, "Are you sure? Make sure you know and try and be forward thinking and try and guess the industry trends." And
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend going into like properly journalism. I think social media is the way of the future, and influencers, are becoming more influential, literally, than big mainstream media outlets, and it's only going to keep going that way. So we'll see, but I'm pretty sure she won't want to do it. She'll probably take one look at my interviews and think I'm really lame. So,
Well, I mean
who
you
knows?
got hundreds of thousands of fans that would think otherwise because I mean like if I wanted to watch a fighter from one be interviewed, I would go to your channel. Like I wouldn't go anywhere else. Like you're getting every single one, like every fighter on the card I see, Nick Atkin there. It's awesome. It's awesome. So
I try, man. Like I feel sometimes people, I see other journalists at these shows sometimes, not just one or whatever sport it is, but they kind of cherry pick and they only want to speak to the superstar.
Yeah.
I try to give everyone a moment, even if it's like only for like 2 minutes or like 400 people are going to see it or less. I just want them to have a voice, you know. If they're the lowest fight on the card or like they're unknown, like who knows? This could be the next Rodtang. It could be the next Angela Lee. Could be the next Stamp. So
Yeah.
on. You never know, right? And someone taught me this. Korean John, his name is John Hyun Ko. I used to work with him a little bit. He used to always interview everyone, like the nobodies, as you would call them. And I said, like, John, man, like, why do you do all this stuff? Like, I respect it, but like, isn't it kind of like you feel like you're wasting your time? He's like, you never know, man. Like, you could be speaking to the next like champion, and they'll remember you that you were
Yeah.
always there. From day one, you were down since day one, interviewing me. Of course, I'm going to give you an interview. You know, and that's a great lesson. A lot of people can learn, but you have to find a balance because
Yeah.
you can't interview everyone. I struggle because sometimes I'll be like sitting there and I want to watch this fight, but then it's like, oh, all right, I want to interview them. So I'm like, okay, I can do it. I like run to the back, camera on, boom, 2 minute interview, 3 minute. Then I'm running back. I'll get there for like the second round. I'm like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Oh, yeah. Whip out the phone, start recording. Yeah, it's just like a really stressful 5-6 hours, those events. But yeah, I try and do everyone, and you never know what's gonna go crazy either. You gotta put yourself in the position. It could be someone could say something which goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you can help this person get another fight and further their career and things like that. That's what I love doing. I love helping the fighters, and so many fighters will message me if they feel they're kind of being overlooked. They'll be like, "Can we do an interview, bro? Like, can you put this out for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. If I can, I'll help." That's the main thing I love doing. Honestly, that gives me so much joy just seeing fighters. I remember one time. I won't go on forever on this, but there was one time Stamp fought Supergirl, January 2023, Impact Arena. Great fight, fight of the night, or it was in the morning, but and Stamp got a 50K bonus because she won the fight. But everyone was saying like, oh, they should both get 50K. And I had Chatri the next day or a couple of days later for interview, and I said, Chatri, would you consider giving Supergirl 50K? And he was like, pause. He's like, yeah, maybe I should have. And then a couple of days later after that was the first ever episode of Friday Fights. And then he got Supergirl there, got her in the ring, and they gave her 50K. So
Nice.
I feel like I helped make a
Yeah.
difference there. And it's so wonderful to see that. That's better than anything. That's better than having 100,000 followers. That's better than having whatever. Just helping these people who need. They're all struggling. A lot of them to get fights, to get money. Fighting is a horrible career. We both know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I can help, I love that. I love it.
That's awesome. And because you also get like when a fighter calls out another fighter, it's going to be in your interview. Like the one
Happened a
that I
lot.
watch
Yeah.
all the time because it's so funny is Superbon calling out Chingiz Alazov. That's hilarious. I forget what he said exactly, but it's just the way he said it cracks me up. But you get the call outs too, which is great.
So that one, literally, I think the first time it happened, Superbon had just won the interim title, beat Marek Grigorian. And then apropos, I don't know where he I didn't even ask him about Chingiz. He just started going like, Chingiz, where are you? Like, why are you running, man? And then again in January when he fought Tawanchai the second time, he just started talking about Chingiz out of nowhere. Again, I didn't even ask him about it. And then he got knocked out pretty bad.
Yeah.
So then I asked him about it the next time I saw it because Chingiz was making noise Chingiz was saying things like, "Oh, if I see Superbon on the street, I'm gonna like beat him up."
Yeah.
And then he said it again. He's like, "Yeah, come to Pattaya. Like, oh, I can come to Pattaya. You come to my gym. We can fight in the street." Uh, and then it just it went crazy. And Chingiz was there. Yeah, you saw it, right? It was back and forth, and it was entertaining. But
Yeah.
then the next time I saw Superbon, he's just like, "Please don't ask me about Chingiz." He was probably getting a lot of heat because this is not the done thing in Muay Thai. You don't really talk like that. You don't trash talk.
Yeah.
Thais are very respectful to each other. You certainly don't talk about fighting in the streets and things like that, or fight in the
Send me
street.
location.
Yeah, you do not do that. So I think probably Superbon felt a little embarrassed. It got that far, but he was pretty worked up. But I think it's great. I think it's perfect. It's I'm old school. I started watching UFC before I came to one, so I think one needs a little bit more of that trash talk.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started covering one, they were literally like promoting themselves as, "We don't do trash talk here." And I was like, "Well, that's not a good thing. You should probably change that. That's not a thing to boast about. You really should do more." So luckily they kind of eased up on that around about, I think, 2020, the pandemic. Chatri started changing his mind, and he's like, "All right, we'll have trash talk as long as it's not like religion or families."
Yeah.
And then I think now it's pretty much anything goes. But Thais, just as a general rule, don't do it. They all kind of just, I don't know if you've been to Thailand, but just they're very laid back
Yeah.
people in general, and they all love each other. The fighters, they're all friends, and they like know each other. They don't really want to fight each other. It's like when Superleg and Rodtang fought. It was just like they were really sad. They didn't want to do it. They tried to stay away from each other for years, but eventually it had to happen. But anyway, yeah, the call outs happen. It's fun. I always try to get the spicy stuff going because I think it's good for one to have a bit of thing like that. It's not, no one wants to watch an interview where someone's like, yep, fight was good. I'm happy with that performance. Yeah, it's like, well, what do you want to do next? Who do you want to call out? This guy said you're a bum. Da-da-da. Yeah, sometimes I instigate it a bit, and then I watched it all crash down and burn around me. But I think genuinely fights have been made in one because of interviews I've done. And again, that's another cool thing, like, helping fighters get fights and get paid. I'm really proud to be able to do that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, Nick, I'm on the free Zoom, so I've got like 2 minutes left on this, and then I got to go to work. But
time has flown by.
Yeah. I would love to do like a part 2, even part 3. And is that cool? Can we do another one of these days?
Yeah. Just if you want to splice them together, let me know, man. I can wear the same T-shirt.
No. That's fine. I think we just do like a totally new episode, maybe just because I've got so many more questions for you. I guess last question, kind of a fun one. If you could make any matchup in one, give me like your dream Muay Thai match and then your dream MMA match.
I'll try and be quick. We got like 1:30 here.
Yeah.
Dream Muay Thai matchup. Oh my god, I think that's really tough. I want to see Superleg Rodtang too. Does that count? With both guys making weight, But I also want to see them fight in kickboxing. I want to see Superleg Rodtang for Superleg's kickboxing belt. It's a bit of a cop out, sorry, but I just love their first fight so much, and there were too many questions. I want to see 5 rounds as well. I think Rodtang was warming up nicely there, and maybe would have won the fight if it was 5 rounds. MMA. To be honest, MMA in one is no longer on much of a level anymore. It's kind of gone downhill. But if you're talking about what I'd like to see, I would probably love to see. I just want to see Christian Lee come back, maybe fight Soldich if both guys are down for that. I can't really think off the top of my head. I always wanted to see Jared Brooks against Demetrius Johnson, but that never happened. Yeah. DJ retired, then Jared kind of lost the belt. We're going to run out of time. Sorry, I'll have to answer that one on the next
All
one.
good.
Apologies.
Hey Nick, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, and yeah, let's talk again. This was awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care, sir. That was part one of my interview with Nick Atkin, GOAT One Championship reporter, and I mean it. Nick, through his Instagram, Facebook, Bangkok Post reporting, and his YouTube channel, he's really created this like video Wikipedia of One Championship. Interviews all the fighters. He's at all the press conferences, behind the scenes, at the matches, front row, filming, getting cool shorts, and just covering the organization and the fights in depth. If you like One Championship and you're not subscribed to his channel, definitely do it. Check it out. I am. I watch it. And yeah, if you guys have questions that you want me to ask Nick, leave a comment below, like it, show your appreciation for Nick, and thank him for taking the time to answer my questions, and subscribe to his channel. I'm really hoping we can do a part two because, like I said, there's so many more questions I want to ask, but definitely check out his channel because there's so much good One Championship content there for you guys. All right, take care and hope you enjoyed that interview with Nick Atkin.